Hello. Welcome, family. I'm Empress Addi, and on this Saturn day, this is our seventh or eighth, I'll get it right in the description, episode of the Empress Addi Podcast. And I said Saturn Day because every time Saturday comes around, I think of Saturn Day. It's not just a day of the week. It is Saturn's Day. If you know anything about that, it's a time traditionally devoted to structure, discipline, a long term, and any long term visions you have, you should be manifesting it today. Saturn teaches us why it's important to set boundaries and have endurance. And it reminds us that the choices we make today ripple far into the future. And that's why today is such a powerful time to focus on your manifesting energy, on stability, protection, financial security, and generational wealth, the kind of blessings that carry forward beyond your lifetime. And in our tradition in Haitian Vodou, Saturdays also hold a special resonance. This is a day of Gede spirits, guardians of the threshold between life and death. We honor Baon Samedi and Mama Brigitte, who laugh at our illusions, speak the truth without fear, and remind us that death is not an end, but a continuation. And to walk with them is to live boldly, authentically, unafraid of endings or transformations. So, as you listen today, I invite you to align yourself with this Saturn day energy. Breathe, root down. Allow yourself to focus not only on the moment, but on the legacy you're building. If today is your Sabbath day, take the rest, write in your journal, and pray. But today's theme, you didn't think I was just going to let all these things happening in the world and not talk about it, did you? It's hard not to. But I want to make this parallel connection with history. So let's talk about the world as it is today and how it's affecting us. In Washington, in Texas, across the nation, we're witnessing people fighting back against policies and powers that seem larger than life. The news cycle is filled with tension, legal battles, protests, and political maneuvering while conveniently leaving out Trump's promise to release the Epstein's files. All that can be overwhelming, all right? But history shows us something. This is not new. This is not new. So whether we look at the Reconstruction era, we can look at the Civil War, we can look at the Civil Rights Movement of the 60s, or the Haitian Revolution that birthed the world's first free Black republic. People have always found ways to resist oppression while holding on to their humanity. What is different now is the speed and the scale of the misinformation. Technology keeps amplifying both fear and hope. Okay, some of us are still hopeful. And so the question becomes, how do we fight back without losing ourselves? How do we resist without endangering our own lives and our livelihoods? And the answer, I believe, lies in the wisdom of the ancestors. You're going to be like, of course, another ancestral talk. It's not foreign. It's not exclusive of us. They remind us that resistance is not always a march in the street. Sometimes it is a quiet act of refusing to be dehumanized, right? Sometimes it's creating art. It's preserving our language. It's passing on those stories. It's raising our children with the courage to fight back and with not just courage, but of pride of who they are because they know that our story began long before slavery. So fighting back can be communing with like-minded people, turning off that television, getting into your own sacred practice like a community garden. Even a community garden is a sacred practice. So let's not discount the small things that we can do. All right. It can be refusing to internalize the lie that you are powerless because you're not. So every small act of truth telling is telling of every small act of truth telling is an act of resistance. And when I think of the white supremacists who love telling people to go back to your country, go back to your country, they love saying that, right? Forgetting that the natives were here, and what they did to the natives was just atrocious. Okay. And if you've been under a rock, very briefly, they had native boarding schools across the United States and in Canada. Indigenous children were taken away from their families, stripped of their language, they cut their hair, and they cut their ceremonies. Their ceremonies were outlawed. The motto was to kill the Indian, save the man, and generations of knowledge were nearly lost. Yet today, we see many Native communities are reviving their tongues, their songs, their ceremonies, improving and proving that erasure does not equal disappearance. Or look at the Caribbeans during slavery. Enslaved Africans were forbidden to drum, to chant, to gather, right? Yet we still transformed. In Trinidad, the drum became the steel pan. In Haiti, the Vodou ceremony became the secret school of revolution. In Brazil, capoeira disguised combat training as dance. Yeah. And always an adaptation, always resistance. Closer to home, we see how in Jim Crow, Black Americans were forced to take literacy tests before they could even vote. Imagine, I don't think our president can pass a literacy test. But imagine after centuries of being denied access to reading and writing, people were then told, prove yourself on paper. And yet, communities created citizenship schools, teaching each other in their kitchens, at church, or in back rooms. That knowledge seeded the civil rights movement. And through it all, there was resistance, the Haitian Revolution, Nat Turner's Rebellion, the Maroon Wars in Jamaica, the civil rights sit-ins in right here in Greensboro, in this country. So each one said to the world, you may try to erase us, but we will rise again. So I'm not afraid of that. We'll bring it to the personal, and how resilience met pride and what we need to do in walking in our purpose and not being afraid. I remember being a teenager in Miami and 11th grade going to 12th grade. I was accepted into a very prestigious summer pre-med program at the University of Miami. I stayed at Mahoney Pearson dorms, and for the first time, I lived on campus away from home for 8 weeks, and we studied hard. Cadavers, human organs, chemistry, medical research. It was grueling. And some nights I wondered if I was even smart enough to be there, if I could keep up. I mean, I'm just a daughter of Haitian immigrants, and I never thought of myself as smart. And I know, I just never did. But there were moments of joy. We had a lot of fun. We watched the Hurricane football players practice, and a lot of some of them became pro. Don't ask me their names. We used to hang out with them in the dorms, laughing with our colleagues on the train going to Jackson Memorial Hospital, feeling like an adult for the first time. That summer taught me that resilience isn't about feeling the weight. It was about carrying it anyway. I felt like me being there was somehow elevating my family. I was doing it for all the hard work of my mom and dad and my siblings who didn't get the opportunity to do that. I felt like I had to represent them to the best of my ability, and I did that. I think I did that. I believe I did. And so that's what I'm saying today to connect this. It's about carrying it anyway, even when we feel we cannot. And I remember feeling like I had done my lineage really proud. I had done my ancestors proud that moment. And I was just a first generation daughter of Haitian immigrants, as I said, and here I was amongst the brightest in the district, chosen with the intention to create more Black doctors. Granted, I will not be a medical doctor. I have an aversion to blood. Okay, go figure. I just thought, and at the time, I didn't even think there are many other medical doctors that I could be. But I was just like, after, a week with different cadavers and organs, I was just done. I was like, oh my God, how am I going to get through this? But it did something else. Okay. Granted, I know I won't be a medical doctor, but that did spark a fire in me, a fire of learning, a fire of becoming the lifelong learner that I am today, to continue my studies and do my ancestor proud. And by learning all that I can and serving my community with my gifts and my talents. So maybe my path was not to be a medical doctor, but I will be a doctor of philosophy soon. Mm. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And that same resilience is what our ancestors modeled. They carried the weight of chains, of whips, bans, laws, yet we still persevered, we still sang, we still prayed, still planned revolution in the dead of night. And like them, when the work feels overwhelming, we should know that we can rise again. And that in itself is glorious to know. You should know that you can rise. I don't care what you're going through right now. Just think how our ancestors went through a lot more. And this is nothing. Nobody can stop us. I want to stop right now for a quick commercial break. Before we continue, I want to pause and share something very close and dear to my heart. If today's conversation stirs your spirit, or if any past episode stirs your spirit, and you like what I'm talking about, and you're like, yeah, this chick is kind of deep, or she's thinking, or she's thinking about us, or how to pick up the pieces and really formulate our lives into the life that we want it to be. Also, recognizing who you already are. That's in an episode with Dr. Diane, or finding spiritual resilience, like my conversation with Dr. Desir. I invite you to pick up my book. Okay. And the title of the book is What's Next for You? Living in Purpose, a practical guide to aligning your passion with prosperity. Now, I know I talk a lot, but I am very pragmatic, and I studied pragmatism, Rorty, and all of that for a long time. Okay. I am in a PhD program. And spirituality has to be locked in lockstep with pragmatism. We have to do things and take action steps to fix our lives and really address the things that are keeping us back. And that's what this book does. This book is for anyone standing at the crossroads, whether in career, love, spirituality, identity, wondering what the next chapter of their life will be. It blends my own stories, ancestral wisdom with practical guidance to help you not only imagine, but step into your future with clarity and courage. I encourage all of you to look into it, grab a copy today on Amazon or wherever books are available, and let it be a companion for you. I think it is definitely one that you don't want to be far away from. You can always open up a chapter and see exactly what you need to do for whatever the issue or problem or mental ailment you're going through. So if you have ADHD and you have anxiety and you find yourself depressed, pick up that book. Pick up that book. It will really help you create a roadmap for your life. Let it be your companion on your journey to manifest a life rooted in soul, purpose, and possibility. It's called, one more time, What's Next for You? Living in Purpose, a practical guide to aligning your passion with prosperity, written by yours truly. All right. So, in closing, as we return to today's theme, I want to leave you with this. Saturn Day calls us to think long term. Gede reminds us not to fear endings because every ending holds the seed of beginning. So, whatever the news cycle throws at us, whatever crap is happening on television, let us resist by remembering that we are not powerless, we are not voiceless, and we are not alone. Our ancestors fought with machetes, with song, with ritual, with prayer, with words, and we too carry the legacy forward. Thank you for spending this Saturn day with me, or whenever you catch it. Thank you. Until next time, keep rising, keep manifesting, keep remembering who you are. Follow the Empress Addi Podcast. Subscribe, share. Like, subscribe, share, and engage with it. I'd love to hear your thoughts, and I do check my comments, and I do respond. So please leave a comment, share, and subscribe. Support a sister and support independent media because that legacy media is going to continue to tell you lies. All right, have a beautiful day and go be magical. Empress Addi. Peace.